a country where the natural beauty of the land mingles with the tradition of the villages and the development of cities. Perhaps the most important asset of Romania is the people. Of the 22 million inhabitants, 6 million are children. Some of them are in public care. It is a fact. But what people don't know is that many of these children are neither orphans, nor abandoned, or adoptable. Most of them are in contact with their parents, although parents are not always able to care for them. Sometimes parents don't have the conditions they would like to provide for their children, and they place their children in a home or in a placement centre for a while. Often, children live here until the family conditions get better and parents can take them home. For years, the focus has been on improving conditions in institutions rather than on closing them. Even today, there are still voices advocating that the solutions for the Romanian institutionalized children are to improve conditions in institutions and/or to send the children into international adoption. This latter measure is seen by the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child as absolutely the last resort. The large institutions and inter-country adoption have proved not to solve the problem, either in Romania or anywhere else. It is a fact that too little is known about Romania's social environment, about the present and the past. Starting in the 1960s, the Ceausescu regime led an aggressive policy to increase the birth rate. Abortion was banned, and contraceptive methods were not available. Due to poverty, the newborn children were often very weak, and so were the mothers after delivery. Doctors were afraid that children might die, as they would be punished for not taking good care. Thus, they would urge mothers to place their children in institutions. Mothers facing poverty were left with no choice. Sometimes they even believed that this was the right decision to take. As the system was designed, the child would then be moved from one institution to another based on age criteria, with no one paying attention to maintaining the relation with the family. Consequently, time, distance, and lack of resources led to the breach with the parents. On top of everything else, as living conditions in Romania under communism worsened, the conditions of the isolated institutions worsened even more. Therefore, when Romania opened up to the world in December 1989, the images of children's homes shocked the entire international community. The reaction of the world was that thousands of foreigners rushed to Romania to adopt in the belief of saving the life of an orphan. In 12 years, over 30,000 Romanian children were adopted by foreigners. However, many of them should not have been adopted at all. After 1989, there was no alternative to institutional care. The normal social services that are found in Western Europe simply didn't exist. There were no maternal centres, no daycare centres or foster families. No knowledge about the negative psychological impact of large institutions. The reform is about fitting this gap. It has begun and dramatic changes are underway. In the last few years, Romania has begun a profound reform of its child welfare system. Much remains to be done, but the situation of Romania's children is now comparable to that of many other European countries, and the problems and the solutions are the same. In Romania, 1.8% of the total child population is in public care, and only 0.75% live in institutions. Not much different than in the rest of Europe.
Si on compare les difficultés qui ont pu exister, certaines existent encore, de vie des enfants en institution. Je veux dire, progressivement, il y a quand même des progrès sensibles qui sont réalisés. Il y a beaucoup moins de maltraitance institutionnelle. Et puis, je dirais que la problématique de l'enfant dans l'Europe centrale et orientale est une problématique qui dépasse largement les frontières de la Roumanie. Et moi, je crois qu'on peut dire très clairement aujourd'hui que la situation de l'enfance en Roumanie me paraît meilleure que la situation de l'enfant dans certains pays de l'Europe centrale, comme la Bulgarie, comme la Slovaquie.
The reform of the child protection sector has brought about a new approach towards children. In difficulty are supported with social allowances and services to bring up their children. Various forms of alternative care are replacing the outdated, large residential institutions. Maternal assistance, reintegration back into their own family, daycare centres, maternal centres, recuperation centres, foster families and family-type homes have been created in the last few years. In addition, the request for domestic adoption is high. The number of requests for adoption at a national level exceeds the number of genuinely abandoned children in a year. One can still see children begging on the streets of Romania's larger cities. Some go home at night to give the family what they earned, others refuse life at home or in residential care. For them, day and night shelters for the street children have been opened lately, where they can choose to stay for a few hours or for longer. Social workers offer their support to resolve their situations. It will probably take another few years until all large childcare institutions are closed. But conditions are no longer comparable with those of 12 years ago. For some, the institution gave them the opportunity to develop their talent. In 2002, the Romanian government decided to organize a national competition for talented children in institutions and foster care. More than 60 children with artistic, scientific and sportive talents were awarded European Union scholarships and special prizes offered by the Romanian business community. The program, supported by well-known artists, personalities and opinion leaders, opened a whole range of opportunities for children and ultimately changed their lives. This was part of the public awareness campaign, A Children's Home is Not a Home, carried out by the National Authority for Child Protection and Adoption and funded by the European Union. The European Union is Romania's most important partner in the reform process. A programme worth 25 million euros is now being implemented for the closure of institutions and the creation of alternative services and for a public awareness campaign. Another 23 million euros is to come over the next 2 years for the same purpose.
The Edelweiss contest was intended to show that even in the bad context of the children's homes, talent exists, can flourish, and that the children who are in homes, who have spent much of their lives in institutional care, still have enormous things to bring to Romania into its future.
Adi is a 12-year-old boy living in Bacău, central Romania. His parents were very poor and decided to leave for Turkey. They sold everything, including their house, and Adi and his sister were sent to a placement centre.
E rău ca să își dă copiii într-un centru de plasament, oricum dacă lor le place, să facă tot posibilul, că locuri de muncă sunt în țară, sunt, dar poate le este lene să caute.
But Adi's destiny soon radically changed. The family council placed him in a foster family who were very willing to take care of the boy.
Nu l-am luat nici din milă, nici din... V-am spus, ne-a intrat la suflet și a fost o simpatie așa reciprocă. Și el și-a dorit și noi ne-am dorit. Unii mănâncă 3, mai mănâncă și al 4-lea și tot așa. Să ai suflet mare și încredere. Iar copiii, cum îți plin de speranțe în zile de azi, se acomandează repede și... Nu știu, ar fi un păcat pentru cei care poate au și posibilități mai mari să nu facă un lucru.
Eu aș vrea foarte mult să rămân aici. Mi-mi place foarte, foarte mult aici. Nimica nu lipsește, tot ce îmi trebuie îi spun și ei are, îmi dă, n-are, îmi dă altă dată. Și tot îmi dă.
I've been in areas where they've almost ended child institutionalization. I've been in Judets and county areas where 3 years ago they had 3,000 children in these institutions and now they have none, or now they have 500, and they're working every day to either reintegrate the children with their families or reintegrate them with their extended families or organize domestic fostering or to organize domestic adoptions. But they're working to help each individual child and to make a future, an individual future for that individual child.
Mihaela is a handicapped child who was abandoned 6 years ago in a placement centre. Since 1999, she has lived with her foster family and her niece, Andrada. Mihaela has started a long recuperation process, and the results have so far been excellent.
Îmi place să mă joc. Asta îmi place și să scriu. Și să citesc.
Un copil bun, un copil cu minte, deștept. Știți că e foarte inteligentă. Un copil normal, așa, intelectual, mental, dar atâta care problema e handicapul pe care l-a. S-a acomodat cu noi cu toți. Ea zice că nu vrea să mai plece de la noi.
Fata e cea mare, am adoptat-o în 1998, iar pe Alexandru cu un an după, deci în 99. Ne-am venit ideea în momentul în care, timpul trecând și având totuși niște condiții cât de cât bune, am zis că e păcat să treacă timpul pe lângă noi așa, fără să ne bucurăm și noi de niște copii. Și ne fiind cazul medical destul de elucidat în ceea ce privește dacă putem sau nu putem face, am zis că hai totuși să încercăm să adoptăm, că e păcat. Există o schimbare extrem de mare și se observă după primele 2-3 luni de la adopție. Atunci se observă când copilul începe să aibă certitudinea că asta este familia lui. Atunci explodează. Se schimbă, se vede pe zi ce trece că e altfel, începe să fie lipicios, începe să intre în reflexele unui copil, începe să perceapă familia ca fiind a lui. Cel mai mare impact între momentul adopției și când începe copilul să se simtă bine este cam așa, cam la 2-3 luni de la adopție. Atunci începe să înflorească.
In Romania, we started in 1995 with an adoption program to reintegrate abandoned children either in their biological families or adopting them into good Romanian families. With our program, we proved that national adoptions can be done very successfully in Romania, and I appreciate very much the help and the support of the Romanian government as well as the local authorities to continue their focus in national adoptions. Our program gives the children in Romania a chance to grow up in their own country.
Mă numesc Alin, sunt din județul Alba, la centru de plasament. Vadul Moților, sunt Maria, am 14 ani, sunt în clasa 8-a și locuiesc în timpul săptămânii aici în centrul Sfânta Maria.
L-am dat pe Alin la centru de plasament pentru că sunt singură, mai am încă un copil. N-am avut altă posibilitate, pentru că am fost singură și am angajat și aici în centru și i-am adus și pe ei.
The process also requires a change in mentality. This is why the government started a public awareness campaign. Funded by the European Union, The Children's Home is Not a Home is the first campaign for the prevention of the abandonment and institutionalization of children. The campaign has had the mission to inform people on the importance for a child to be brought up in a family environment and inform them about the family-type services, alternative to institutionalization, which now exists. The progress and the positive impact of the reform has been acknowledged by international institutions and foreigners who know Romania and work here. Baroness Emma Nicholson of Winterbourne, European Parliament member and rapporteur for Romania, has had an outstanding contribution in helping the Romanian government in this highly sensitive field. She initiated the international high-level group, which included the Romanian Prime Minister, Commissioner Günther Verheugen, and representatives of other international organizations, with the aim of maintaining international cooperation and support for the government of Romania in pursuing one of its most challenging and ambitious reform projects.
Romania has scored a first. The campaign to support the family followed on by the Edelweiss competition to find the most talented children in Romania's institutions. That's never been done before anywhere. That's one of the examples that I'm going to use when I say Romania is going to be in advance of the pack and not the laggard ever again on this.
Eu consider că șansele pe care le au acum copiii din centrele de plasament sunt egale sau, dacă nu, chiar mai mari decât a celor care provin din familie. Uitați-vă la exemplul meu, pe urmă mai sunt la Roșiorii de Vede încă 17 studenți, evident, și în celelalte centre de plasament din țară. Deci eu consider că la ora actuală nu mai suntem copiii pierduți, copiii rătăciți în societatea românească, ci dimpotrivă. Copiii care acum sunt băgați în seamă, care pot spune ce au nevoie și care, evident, sunt ajutați în măsura în care este posibil.
As rapporteur for Romania, I'm looking forward to Romania making faster and faster progress, tackling corruption, building up her capacity of professional, trained and qualified young people, and with child health and development at an all-time high.
La București am participat la concurs, am fost 400 de concurenți, din care au rămas 31 la fiecare secțiune. A fost secțiunea dans, informatică, muzică, talent special și a rămas câte 3 la fiecare secțiune.
Locul 1, Alin Dorel Bacali! Alin Dorel Bacali, acolo avem o diplomă și o medalie pentru tine, 100 de euro lunar, 100 de euro în fiecare lună, o bursă de 100 de euro timp de 3 ani de zile. Alin are un talent deosebit. Floricelor, mulțumim. El cântă la... Ajută-mă, cum se numește instrumentul ăla?
Vioară cu goarnă.
Hei, nu-i așa de greu, dar vreau să cresc și eu. Un culcuș și un loc la masa ta.
Vreau și eu căsuța mea,
Hai la mine,
ca să cresc frumos în ea.
Hai la mine,
Vreau și eu căsuța mea,
Hai la mine,
ca să cresc frumos în ea.
Hai la mine,
vreau și eu căsuța mea,
hai la mine,
ca să cresc frumos în ea.
This is the story of Romania's children. All of them have a lot of hope for their future.
hai la mine.
This is their story.